Okay. Welcome back to Loper Life.
Welcome back to Loper Life, folks. Glad to have y'all back. Glad to see you again, Mr.
Good
Matt.
to see you too, Luis.
It's been a few days. You left me.
I did. I had some stuff I had to take care of.
That's all right.
There's, adult problems.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know.
Oh, that's not true at all, Luis. Stop.
Child at heart, child at heart.
Well, so we had some pretty good feedback after the first one.
Yes.
So we thought we'd give this another shot. Tell everybody tell all our five watchers.
Tell all 6 of y'all how much we support.
How much we appreciate
support.
y'all's support. But I think in the last one we talked about kind of an idea that you had, but for this one, kind of wanted to give everybody a little background about ourselves and where we came from and what brought us here.
I agree 1,000%. I think before we get started, I'd like to shout out a sponsor and
knock yourself out.
Per se.
Man, we got a sponsor.
It's sponsor already. It's getting real on a Sharpie and cardboard.
Hey, sponsors don't pay if you mess it up. No pressure.
No pressure. Yeah, no pressure. Well, I want to shout out Michaela Tishner. MRT Photography. You can go check her out on Facebook and Instagram. She takes wonderful photography of sale horses, show horses, anything. She'll take fucking.
Hey, Luis, we talked about
she
this.
will say great. I said freaking.
After last time, and you're you'd think you'd remember that. We're keeping this PG-13 because we got all kinds of audiences.
We'll bleep that.
Yeah.
No, but she takes amazing photos of your horses, and they're great. She's taking amazing pictures of me and training horses and personal horses. So shout her out. She's already helped a ton with the Loper Life before it even got started with our logos and stuff like that. So big shout out to her for helping us along on this journey, and go check her out.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to start off?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Start off. Tell us about yourself, Mr. Matt.
Well,
man, how did you find us out here?
Well, first off, it is cold out here in Northeast Texas.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
If we're shivering a little bit, I promise it's the camera and not us.
yeah, exactly. It's a little windy.
So, about me, let's see. I grew up working on my dad's place. At one time, we had several different horses. We had draft horses at one point, and we had Suffolks, and then just a bunch of little ponies that we would ride around on the farm and work cattle with and go on trail rides. And that's how I learned taking lessons out there is how I learned to ride. And I really, really enjoyed it. I'm not sure that I really, truly appreciated what I had and the opportunities that I had out there. But in December, I retired after 23 years in the military.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh,
we appreciate everything you've done for us.
Well, I had a fantastic career and really, really enjoyed working with the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that we have that we had served, that I served with. And so towards the end of my career, when I was getting 2-3 years out from retirement, I was going, okay, I really got to start thinking about what I'm going to do after retirement, because I'm not sure I did a very good job of preparing for retirement throughout my career. I mean, I was super focused on what we were doing, I think, as I should have been, but at the same time, you really got to be thinking that can't be something that you just wake up one day and go, okay, let's give something a shot.
Correct.
You really got to think about it. And so about 2 or 3 years before I retired, I was sitting there going, okay, what am I going to do? And I really, really looked back at my childhood and said, I really enjoyed that, and I want my kids to have that same experience or a similar experience. And so we thought about moving back here to Texarkana, and I started looking at what the options were to get my kids involved in horsemanship and cattle and all that stuff. And my dad still has some stuff out there. It's not quite as busy as it used to be, but I started looking, okay, where do kids learn? And and I
By
needed
doing.
to, yeah, and well,
Yeah.
and I needed to learn too, right? I mean, I'd been out of, I hadn't been off horseback for 20 years, but it certainly wanted to make it a bigger part of who I was and what I was doing. And so the Army, so for me personally, the and for the larger military population out there, there is a program called the well, it's an internship. It's skills something. I
Yeah.
can't remember the name of it, but and I'll think about it tonight when I'm
You'll,
about to go
you'll
to
text
bed.
me. You'll
Yeah, I'll
text me at
it to
11
you.
o'clock. Hey, that's what it was.
So I approached Brady and Ashley about doing an internship here at their cutting horse facility, and they graciously accepted. And so about the last 6 months that I was on active duty, I was able to come out here and learn as much as I could, and I absolutely had a blast. And so that's what brought me here. It really gets to a larger, a more central question that I really put a lot of thought into and am excited about tackling in the second phase of my life, and that is, where do people learn who want to get in this industry?
Correct.
And at whatever level, there's multiple levels. You don't have to enter in
Oh,
and be a
yeah,
professional at this mature facility where and really nationally competitive facility. This is certainly something that not everybody has access to, but on the smaller scale, I use the example a lot that if a kid wants to learn how to play baseball, play soccer, play football, parents have numerous access points to get in there, and they start anywhere from 3 years old all the way up to really, throughout a kid's life they can get involved. Even adults, if they want to play in a 7v7 league or any of those sports, there are opportunities there.
Correct.
But within Western sports, ranching, where does somebody who's got a renewed or new interest in that, where do they learn? And that's something that I have personal experience with, but also want to continue to pursue. And so that every day I wake up, I go, okay, I'm going to learn something today. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to work with Luis.
There's not really a lot to learn when you're hanging out with me.
Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. I learn every day, and to take that comparison of a kid wanting to learn a sport. If a kid goes to a rodeo, mom and dad take kid to a rodeo, and the kid goes, I want to learn how to rope. I want to learn how to ride a horse. I want to learn how to do these things. Where do they turn to? And so, that's what brings me to work every day. I'm constantly thinking about ways to do that, and that's a little bit of my background.
That's awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here. I'll tell you,
Well,
I have lots of fun every time you come hang out
Well,
with me.
I learned a long time ago. You get a lot more done when you're having fun, and you can be miserable. You can kind of hang your head and walk around and think, man, it's hot, or man, it's cold. But when you
we're not stuck in a cubicle somewhere.
When you're enjoying it and you're having
Yeah.
fun, that's what's important.
That's the way I always see it. We could be in an office somewhere, stuck behind a computer screen and with blinders on,
Yeah.
basically, so we don't have to talk to nobody, and just miserable.
Yeah. Well, so I rambled on for a few minutes. Hopefully that was coherent. But Luis, tell us about your background.
Oh, well, horses, I'll just cut straight to the chase, I guess. I mean, horses is all I've ever done. I haven't done anything else. I've never seen myself doing it. I mean, I've seen myself doing other things, but it's more, it was more something pushed by my father or something like that, and not in a bad way by any means. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't my true passion. I liked it, I loved it, but it just wasn't my true passion.
But you got started in horses. I mean, you were showing competitively or on a pretty professional entertainment level pretty early on.
Correct. I guess so. It all started. I knew from the start, kindergarten. From the moment I was born, I knew horses was something I was gonna do. I was infatuated, fantasized about them, and I didn't have any access to horses. My uncle, my dad's brother, is a professional Hall of Fame trainer, but in the Pasifino horse industry, which is just a gaited horse in South America, and it's now kind of starting to make its way over here to the United States. But he lived in Puerto Rico at the time, when I was a kid, and I'm in Central Florida growing up. There was just no access to horses. So I read all the books, I watched all the videos, all that fun stuff. And then I guess you could, my grandfather at school, bless my grandfather, he's done nothing but support this career path that I've decided to choose. And he would ask teachers that had horses that he knew, hey, can Luis just come? Let him just pet a horse. He won't shut up. Let him just pet a horse. Let him see a horse so he could leave me alone. And so sometimes those teachers would go out of town for the weekend or something. Hey, Luis, do you want to feed my horses? Third grade, fourth grade Luis, making $20 here, $20. Yeah, I'll go feed your horse for the weekend. And then come ninth grade year, I wasn't a very good student. Elementary school was okay. When I got to middle school and I started high school, I was not a good student unless I liked it. That's what I like to tell people. I wasn't a good student, but it wasn't because it just didn't grasp. Math didn't grasp my attention. Science didn't grasp my attention. As much as I love documentaries, and I'll hit you with some random facts all the time, but horses caught my attention. I think I failed every class, all of it except agriculture. And then I was an officer and I was showing hogs and cattle and stuff like that in middle school in agriculture, and you have to keep a certain grade to participate in Miss School. And so I got in a lot of trouble and stuff. I mean, I was still able to show and stuff. I always made it work, but that's the only reason I really strive for school. So halfway through ninth grade year comes around, and I just drop out completely from school. I get a GED. I got my GED, but how everybody runs away with the circus, I ran away with all the horse farms. I left home, packed my stuff up, left home. I wouldn't say necessarily right after that. I hung around the house, but then I started hanging around a barn that wasn't too far from my house, and the guy there that was working there, he worked at Arabian Nights, which was a dinner show in Orlando, Florida, before they shut down. It was a nice dinner show, and I said, "Hey, man, I just want to go clean some stalls. Let me go clean some stalls for you, or hook me up. Yeah. You got your foot in the door. Hook me up." And he was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." Maybe like a week later, he came back and he was like, "Hey, let's take a ride with me." So we went over to Arabian Nights, and sure as hell, they hired me. But then I kind of start looking around, and when I look around, I'm 15 at the time, 16. I'm not really supposed to be working with this company, but they found some loopholes that gets in deep that I'm not really going to get into. But anyway, my name was on the lesson board, like to take lessons for riding, and I was like, that's got to be a mistake. And he's like, no, like, you're going to clean stalls, but it's just to make extra money. Like, we're going to put you in the show. And I worked there for maybe half a year, maybe a little bit more. And I did it. I learned how to trick ride and do all this, ride English, and really I started learning how to ride properly by third generation Circus Soleil people and just high level dressage. Some of the best trainers that were operating there at Arabian Nights. Then I moved to Ocala after that, and I started getting my take into Pasafinos. I started growing on riding at a really high level in the Pasofino horse industry, showing at a world level, national level, weekend shows. I mean, you name it, I was there. And I was riding. I rode everything from the $5 donkey nobody wanted to a big time show horse. And then I kind of started fading away from the Pasos. And I found Michael Gascon in South Mississippi. Well, I didn't find him. We knew each other through the Pasafinos. He showed his parents showed Pasafinos for ages, and they're Hall of Famers, and they're big deal people in the Pasafino horse industry. And I was in Puerto Rico. I took like a break from horses. I was 17, 18. I took a break from horses, but from from the time I left home to 18, I've experienced so much in the horse. I mean, it seems like nothing right now, but like between Arabian Nights and all the farms I was jumping around, I would show up to your house. If I saw you had horses, I'd show up to your house just trying to make it. And and I would say, hey man, I'll clean all your stalls, I'll ride your horses. I'll feed this evening. If you just give me a bed, let me sleep in the trailer, let me sleep in the tack room, the feed room, something. You know, and like I went through
ran the gamut.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna like real get into like whole much of that because I'm by far. It's not
It's
playing.
probably not the recommended way to
Well,
do it.
yeah, well, and it's not the pity card
Yeah.
either. I never want anyone
No.
thinking, oh, he just wants you to feel sorry for him. It's like, no, I just want you to know that I worked for wherever you see me at. Like I worked for, like I suffered the hard, you know, making $100 a week living in a tack room.
Yeah.
You know, living on feed and feeds. It just a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, I took a break and I called Michael. I was like, hey man, do you have an opportunity for me? He said, let me get back with you. He said, you know what, I have an opportunity for you. And he told me to come down July 2017. And from that time to present time of last July, I'll say Michael has been one of the biggest influencers, horse trainers on me. And not so much in training.
Personally and professionally.
Yeah, not so much as a horse trainer. These people, the Gascon family, shout out to them, Michael, everybody, his whole family, his mother, his father, they have been nothing. They took me in like family. Like I lived in the house.
Well, it gets back to the community that we were talking about
Yes,
in the first podcast.
yes. I lived in the house with his father, with his mother, and I worked, and obviously, there was things on my end that I didn't. There was ups and downs as always, but they always, no matter what, always said, Luis, you got a roof here. You got some food here. As long as you help us work and all that, you always got somewhere to stay. Till this day, I bet you anything, I can call him at 2 in the morning if, God forbid, but if anything happens, but hey man, I just need a couple, a day, give me a little bit. He's always helped me kind of reset myself. I've gone on and done my own business and on my own and worked at hundreds of other facilities, but every time I go, hey Michael, and he's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come home, basically.
Yeah.
And so I did problem horses. He's a big clinician, so he traveled all over the United States doing clinics and just working with problem horses. And he really showed me how to get around a real gnarly, stupid, dumb horse. I've seen I tell everybody, like, I'm like a Vietnam vet that's never been to Vietnam, because I've never seen war, but boy, I have seen anything you can think of that can happen with a horse. I've seen it. Anything that you say, that's just not possible. Let me tell you something. Me and Michael can write a book right now about everything we've seen and just kind of dealt with in this industry. Y'all wouldn't believe it. Y'all would think we were living some fantasy. Like, it's some of the gnarliest, craziest horses I saw. But it really taught me how to get around a gnarly horse and really start colts. That was a big thing. I starting colts, and that's what I'm doing here now with
So
Brady.
how long have you been here?
Since July of last year. So it's coming up on a year here in the next few months. But basically, I learned what I was going to learn at Michael's. And Michael told me, hey, man, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, what do you mean? I'm doing horses. I'm doing what I love. He's like, no. What do you want to do? There's so many things in the horse industry. Like, it's crazy. It's so crazy. The doors are so open in the horse industry. And so at that time, he was really big into the team roping, and I was roping with him a little bit and all that. And I really like the predator aspect of chasing something or not letting something get back in the herd. So I was like, man, I want to do something cow related or in that way. And he was like, well, call you some people. I called people. I didn't hear from folks. And when I called Brady, he was like, I'll call you back. And I was like, well, he ain't going to call me back. Ain't nobody else coming back. Brady called me, I kid you not, I think the next day. And he's like, hey, come on. And I said, well, let me put my 2 weeks and let them know that, hey, I'm going to go somewhere, and I've been here, and for all I know, so far I'm doing good. They ain't run me off yet.
Yeah.
So they ain't run me off yet.
Well, I'd like to dive into one of the things that you said while you were telling your story, and thank you for sharing that. I think that's a really, really powerful story that really kind of shows who you are as a person, and I think that's really valuable. But one of the things I think that you hit on was mentorship, and in the military, we're big on mentors. You got to find a mentor that can help guide you, somebody that's not in your daily life necessarily, but
Correct.
that you can call and say, hey, I'm having a problem with this. Can you help me? What would you do in this situation? Or even more importantly, like, I'm here, I want to be here, how do I get there?
Correct.
And so mentors are really powerful things. And I think back to some of the people that have influenced me, and then we talked a little bit about YouTube just very briefly last time about how, if you want to start a podcast, the best thing to do is just start it. And so here we are on the second one. We've already got a sponsor, so we're moving on up in the world. It's great.
We're doing something right.
We're doing something right.
But
one of the things that one of the people that I follow says, the number one question he gets is, where do I get started? And I think that mentoring young people, mentoring old people, just mentorship in general is just such an important and aspect of everything that happens, whether you're in the arena or outside.
Correct.
And so, I'm going to jump to comparing this as we approach the end of this second podcast. We're not quite there yet. I know we've got a couple other things to talk about. But we kind of had left everybody with a challenge, Loper games.
Yeah.
Like, if you're interested in doing it, call us. We'll help you set it up, right?
Set it up.
Well, I'd like to challenge all of our viewers out there.
Yeah.
Really think about who your mentors are.
Oh, yeah.
And then, importantly, thank them. But
every chance you can.
But I would also challenge them to say, who are you mentoring? And is there somebody out there that you can say, you know what, I'm going to kind of sign up, whether it's formally or informally, but to sign up and say, I really want to mentor this person. I want to help this person. I want to see them achieve what their goals and aspirations. Their goals and aspirations. So, we were describing your relationship with Michael Gaston, and how he kind of said, "Hey, what do you want to do, and how can I help you get there?" I think that just goes a long way, not only to building a community, but also a more professional, more
I think it gives confidence too, in a sense, because there was a time, even while working with him, I was happy that I was working because I was doing what I was doing, but I wasn't happy, if that made any sense. And it wasn't on anything on them, and they would see it. Michael would see it, and Michael wouldn't talk to me as his boss, or like him being my boss, or anything like that. He would come up to me and talk to me like if he was my older brother or something, and he'd talk. He said, "Hey, come, let's talk in the office." And he would give me that confidence, that push. Those days where I was feeling like, well, am I really good enough? Do what? You know how many times I wanted to sell my saddle and sell my bits, and I'm retiring. This is like, oh my! I've wanted to just pack my bag and put it on a stick and walk down the highway and just screw this. And I think because of Michael and two other people that are out there, but mainly Michael, he's pushed me, and he said, "You're good enough. You just need to tweak some things about you, Luis." And I've come to realize those things about me, and I've done nothing but work on myself. But I think it gives a lot of confidence to mentoring someone. Say, "Hey, relax, take a deep breath. It's good. You're all right. Try this X, Y, and Z," or whether it's life. I feel like I'm in some sort of a situation right now with someone here where he'll come out, "Hey, Luis, can we chit chat? Hey, I got this going on." And it's not, sometimes the majority of the time, anything about work, and it's like makes you feel good that they're willing to come talk to you about certain things. You're like, all right, I'm doing something right, where he trusts me or kind of looks up to me in a sense. There's 25 cents for in a sense.
You're not guilty, Luis. It's okay.
I'm not guilty. So they're gonna have to start an in a sense marker. How many times I say in a sense, write it down, tally it down, and let us know. You got to be like me, sugar, bro, sugar.
No. I'm trying to be healthy.
Well, I'm being healthy. I'm being healthy. It's diet. It's diet. So I can drink. Yeah. I can eat regular cake.
You drink if you eat a Shuggy, then you have to you counter it with a Diet Coke, right?
That's right. Yeah. Shuggies and a Diet Coke.
Well, so we've. What's next? I mean, or what's next for us today? Let's talk about today.
Well, next for us today.
What do we have behind us here?
My favorite. No, 2-year-olds. We got 2-year-olds next. What do we got? We got, this is Diva. I had to look back. That is, what's his name? Raz. That's
yeah,
Raz.
you should know Raz. Raz gave you a tattoo.
Yeah, Raz gave me a tattoo.
Raz gave him a raspberry.
Yeah, Raz gave me some of the business. Raz, Bumpkin, and Hinky. Not Hickey, Hinky.
Yeah, we stay away from hickeys around here.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And Hinky. So this morning we turned out older horses and put them on the walker and rode some 3-year-olds and a couple older horses as well. Now it's time for the fun stuff. Now it's time to work some 2-year-olds. And
which is why I'm here to supervise.
yes, he's my driver for when shit hits the fan. Take Luis. Although you didn't react when I got my raspberry, you were just like, "Oh, damn."
Hey,
that's gotta hurt.
Hey, you were breathing, and that's all that matters.
I was standing up. I was standing up.
You tried to run me over this morning.
Look, I didn't try to run you over. I got on this horse.
What it was.
What happened was, this horse was feeling great because this weather keeps being up and down. And like plowed over you and Smoothie.
You know,
while I'm screaming, "Oh shit! Oh shit!"
Luis was telling me some stories about what happened while I was gone, and these last few days. And I was like, Luis, we got to get somebody to record this because people want to see this stuff.
Oh yeah, I think we should put one of them kind of like them cameras you were showing, one of those wireless cameras. Mm-hmm. But I don't like that idea because what if I'm taking a nap in the arena? That dirt's pretty soft, you know. I like the lay in it.
Yeah.
Make some sand angels. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not in the middle though. The cows hang out in the middle.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest that. Yeah, in fact, I wouldn't suggest napping in the arena at all. You never know when a cow's going to get turned out, or, you know.
Horse get loose.
Yeah,
up in
or
there
horse get loose up in there. Yeah, that wouldn't be so smart.
Yeah. So, are you gonna bust these broncs out for me today?
You want me to ride one?
Hell yeah, you can ride one.
I'll ride all 4 of them.
4? There's 5.
Shoot.
There's 5 this evening.
Well, you did just run me over this morning, so I have an excuse for my my brain lapse.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know about you, but that's mine.
I fell down the stairs. I fell down the stairs pretty hard.
Yeah.
Righto. Well, what else do we got?
Well, what we're going to do next time. We've got some ideas. We talked a little bit about in the first podcast some ideas that we had. I think we want to get a loper that we know.
Yeah.
I know he's beating us up.
He's wanting to get on.
Yeah, he's
jealous.
out there working and showing and working for clients and working for Brady, and so we probably owe him his time in the spotlight.
Yeah, he's already
see if he gets as nervous as we do before we start.
Yeah, he's already hollered at me once or twice. Come on, man. Yeah. I'm not on the channel. I only say this out of love, bro. It's out of love.
and then I was talking to Brady and Brady Davis.
Yeah.
Get a head trainer on here. So I don't know what order that'll come in, but we're certainly excited about continuing this podcast.
Oh yeah,
continuing
just
to share
off.
information, continuing to share our experiences because. Going back to what I said at the beginning and what kind of gets me up in the morning is, you know, how do we share our experiences with people who are truly interested in this way of life, because it is hard to get started. And that's one of the things that we want to do is share not only with people that are already in it. Hopefully we'll get them a laugh or two and say, look at those 2 knuckleheads, but also share our experience with people out there who don't get to do this every day, but might be interested in doing something like this.
Most definitely. And I'm the first one to sometimes take this life for granted.
No.
And what I mean by that is sometimes I'll catch myself like, man, it's a hot one today, or it's cold today, something. I'll find then I'm like, I'm out here doing what I love. As much as I joke around and talk my smack, I'm doing out here doing something doing.
Use
Is this Diet Coke?
Use your words, Louis.
Yeah. Doing what I love. Doing what. It's what happens when you drop out, kids. Stay in school.
That's right. Very important.
Doing what I love, and that's what keeps me going. It's that
Yeah.
passion, that drive, that, all right.
Well, hopefully that comes through to our audience for both of us, because we're both very passionate about this.
Most
I'm still
definitely.
working on Luis wearing a cowboy hat during these things.
My cowboy
Yeah.
hat's not even here.
Well,
It's in Fort Worth.
we're going to work on that. But we really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for giving us 30 minutes of your time. I know it's really valuable. But we're really excited about this and excited about all the opportunities it presents and our first sponsorship.
And our first,
I mean,
my
goodness gracious.
MRT Photography,
Yeah.
Michaela Tishner. Go check her out.
She helped us with some of the logos for
she's helped us with some of the logos, and she's up to date to help us for everything and anything that we need at this time. So
Thanks,
like,
Michaela.
follow, subscribe. We're gonna have that YouTube channel tonight. Actually,
I'm gonna hold you to that, Louis.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know.
Now
Usually,
you've said it on there, they're expecting it.
exactly. Usually, if you tell me to do something, it takes about 2 to 3 business days, just like my laundry.
Whips aren't just for horses.
Yeah, exactly. Like and subscribe to our YouTube page. As soon as this video gets posted, the YouTube link will be posted right beside it. So I think that's about what we got for today. Well, thanks for another wonderful day, and get used to seeing about a video a week about everything and anything. Shoot us any of your interest or likes or whatever you'd like us to talk about.
It's something we can improve on.
Yeah, most definitely. Y'all take care.
All right.